'67 Shasta. I sold it, and the money that I made on it, I used to buy this 1985 camper. So just something to keep in mind if you think that you would be interested in remodeling. You can flip these for a profit, or you can just be the what I think is the most unique camper at the campsite. Finding things that are maybe older, vintage, been discarded, and trying to revamp them and give them some new life in a more affordable way on a budget. So you're not going into huge amounts of debt. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of elbow grease, Googling things, watching YouTube to find out how to do things if you're not sure. But I promise you, all the hard work, just it makes it worth it. I love our vintage camper now. I would not want to trade it for something brand new because I feel like it has a lot of characters. Welcome to our 1985 Alpenlite camper. This is a vintage 1980s camper, and I'm just going to give a quick little tour of the inside. I removed all the original fabric and curtains and replaced them because I just felt like they smelled musty. And although I'm going for the vintage 80s vibe, I felt like it wasn't quite what I imagined or liked as far as the aesthetics of it. These are some curtains that my mama helped me sew and make, and I did have them over the kitchen area. You can hear my husband and my middle son getting ready for their camping trip. If you hear some voices in the background, it's them hooking everything up because we're getting ready to go out on our first camping trip of the summer. But as I was saying, I just put these curtains here right before we took off on this trip, and I think I like it better because they were right here, and I had this old vintage curtain material, this really thin sheer like material, and it lets a lot of light in. But the way the other ones were, there was a big gap up here at the top section where people could see in at night, and so now I feel like this covers it. And I brought this along just in case there's a gap like at the end over here when we close them at night. If I need to hang that there to spread the curtains out a little bit more, I can. So see how there's kind of like a gap there? I can put that lacy kind of doily material there. So that is our curtains. Here is our sink. The only thing I don't like about this sink is it's pretty shallow, so you can't put very many dishes in it. And you have to be careful because the water will slosh out. But my husband did replace the faucet, and so we have this nicer faucet to use now. And we have to have our coffee, so we put an old coffee maker in, and I got a new one for the inside the house. And then I have a dish drainer, which I can fit it over inside that to let the dishes drain too. And another nice feature of this kitchen is there's this built-in like cutting board for extra surface if you want. And these drawers are definitely camper drawers because they lock in place so they won't come out while you're driving, but you have to lift them up to get them to open. So whenever I first bought this camper, we went through, I took all the drawers out, cleaned them, bleached them, and then I repainted. And there will be before pictures that I will put at the end of this video, and maybe I will disperse them throughout depending on how I edit, so you can see what it looked like before. But this was the cabinet color before, and this is our storage under the sink where we keep some pots and pans and just some extra cleaning supplies, but these do well staying closed. And then I don't know if anyone else does this, but we cook on a black stone almost the whole time that we're camping, which we cook outside. This stove and oven does work. We've cooked a pizza in it before, but I don't like to cook in it because I feel like I can smell propane, even though my husband assures me that it's safe. So just up here is our miscellaneous like paperwork and kind of junk drawer, but I will open up these cabinets up here. This is where we keep our spices and all of our cups and coffee cups and a few food things and all of our plates and our knives. So it has pretty good storage up there, but no food storage for sure. I've got my food in a different place, and I will show you that next. And we pan right over here. These drawers are where we keep our dried goods and all of our food that we're taking. Uh-oh, looks like I need a restock. So I'll have to do that, or we'll be fighting over those Doritos. I did, like I said, I painted all the cabinets, and my inspiration color for these cabinets was both these curtains that my sweet mama, who's 84, helped me sew. They have some dark green in it, but also because my husband and we're a hunting family, and my husband used to have bird dogs and pheasant hunt, and he used to like to quail hunt too. But this Remington, this green color, this hunter green, was my inspiration for the green cabinets. So I have another Remington tin that I haven't hung up that I'm going to, that shows a grandpa and his grandson like painting duck decoys, but I didn't get around to doing that this time. But here is our curtains. I just thought, I got these curtains at a garage sale. The material was super inexpensive. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make them work. They kind of look rustic and more masculine. So that's what I picked. Just up here, not that you guys may care, but we have lots of just paper towels and tools, extra things like that. But the rest of these are all great storage. I get these wire cubbies for all of us. Each one of us can have for like a drawer, like a sock and underwear drawer when we go camping. And I have one that still needs to go in here that I have inside the house. But I'll just give them to my family members and say, hey, go put your underwear and socks in that. And that way, because we usually just kind of live out of a backpack or duffel bag when we're camping. That way you don't have to search around for socks and underwear. You can just pull out your big clothes. I have some books and some card games up here. So entertainment. And then anytime I find something from the 80s, since this is an 85 camper, I try to get it. And I figured this looked kind of 80-ish or even before. It says, the Lord, sorry, I got off of it. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalms 27:1. And I just thought that was nice to have in there and kind of meditate on that while we're in nature. And also, since we're camping a lot on the weekends, just kind of nice to have a little scripture in there. And then we got a new refrigerator. The old one went kaput last season, so my husband bought this Frigidaire, and we just put these on there to keep it from coming open while we're driving. Don't know if it's necessary or not, because this will be our first time going out with that refrigerator. But now we have a lot more room up here, which is exciting. And we have a whole freezer, which we didn't have before. And the refrigerator's pretty nice too. Let me get this unbungee. So we still need to stock that, but quite a bit of room, so that's exciting. I will put some before pictures of what this all looked like before, but we totally gutted this. There were leaks, so all of the wood under that, and I think it was the windows that were leaking, had to be all ripped out. So we removed this couch, even though this is the original couch. And I love that old vintage fabric, but usually we camp with our dogs, so I have like a what do you call it, a cushion cover over that. And then at night, this makes into a bed that my youngest son sleeps on. These also can pull out to meet that, and you can have like a place for two people to sleep if you would like. Um, but you could sleep across this way, or you could sleep this way. Okay. So, and then also this had particle board on it, and it had swollen because it had got wet at some point. It has the water tank under there. So I replaced it with an old cabinet that I'd painted. And I had sewed all of these very rudimentary rough sewing, but made, I got some old coffee sacks at a garage sale, and I covered some old pillows with those. I thought that looked durable. These aren't stained as far as our dirt. They're stained from years past, so it's not dirty, but those are some old stains on those cushions. But you know what? We're camping and doesn't bother me too much. There's storage under there for shoes. And then this carpet doesn't exactly match, but I had got an outdoor rug at an estate sale, and I just cut it to fit this area. And so I'd ripped up all the old carpet because it was like, ugh, 80s, very, what do you want to say, shag like. So super dirty. Pulled it all out and then put this more durable, easier to clean rug. Now, the linoleum, probably I'd like to maybe paint it or cover it, but for right now, it's serving its purpose. We just put down some rugs on top of it. And this is Greg and my sleeping area. And I had my great nephew up in here yesterday, and it was so cute because he cuddled up right there in that corner, and he said, "This is where I'll sleep." And he goes, "You sleep there." So it was sweet. He thought it was cozy. I have another pillow to kind of that fits perfectly right here to keep anything from falling down in there. And then this is, we can open those curtains up in the morning and be greeted by the sunshine and whatever view that we have. But also there's some cabinet storage there for us to put things in. And then I just got a bill organizer because there's a plug-in right here where I can plug in our phones at night and then just set them in that bill organizer. And then if you'll notice, I put some trim rope for trim because nothing's square in a camper and it's hard to nail to anything. So I just hot glued that. Got like 3rd-degree burns yesterday trying to hot glue all of that rope up because my hot glue gun is horrible. And then my son Weston, we were at a garage sale together, and he saw that and said his dad would like it because his dad used to pheasant hunt a lot. And it has some of that hunter green color in it. So I put that up just recently. These curtains, a lady who was a preschool teacher at my school was retiring, and she was getting rid of them, and I asked her if I could have them, and she so kindly allowed me to take them, and that was really sweet. And it had all that ribbon along with them, so I just thought they were really cute. I just thought it would look cute in the camper. My mom actually made this quilt for me and gave it to me as a wedding gift. It's maroon and black and has a beautiful pattern on it, but just to go with all the colors in here, I kind of flipped it over, and I liked the underside of it too. So that is our little sleeping area, and we can close these curtains for privacy if we would like. And then the ceiling, that's one of the most exciting parts. I'll put before pictures of what that looked like. There was a leak, not sure exactly where it came from. I know there's been some damage to the front of this camper. I think we have all the leaks fixed because we have been out in a rainstorm and at camping, and we didn't see any leaks. But this all had to be, the ceiling was all falling apart. So we had to rip all of it out. And then we put these tiles, I think we got them at Home Depot, and put those on. So that just made it so much cleaner in here and so much brighter. And then I painted the ceilings. I painted that vent. I've painted all the vents, either this rose gold or this black. But if you go right over here, my husband installed new lights. You can see, if I turn this light off, maybe you can see the color, how yellow the ceiling was before. Since he replaced the lights, this was covered, so you couldn't see that. But now I'm going to have to repaint it. But it made it a lot brighter in here, just painting the ceiling. So you can paint these old campers. I didn't take the time to take the handles off and paint them, but I just was using a roller and a brush, and I just kind of wanted to get it done at that point. We had totally gutted a lot of it. So I'm going to pause the camera and then show you what it looks like once we pull all this bedding out and how it can make into a new bed. There's plenty of room. Someday when my boys move on and it's just my husband and I, we plan on traveling. So this camper will be plenty of room for us. Oh, and I've got to show you the restroom, the bathroom. It does have a full bathroom in it. So there is a flushable toilet. Although probably like most campers, we only use that for number one, not number two. We usually are at campsites, so we can go number two inside their facility. But I found this closet organizer, and we keep all of our toiletries in that, just saves on space. And the sink we would like to eventually replace, and the faucet, because the faucet leaks, so you can't run a lot of water in it, or you might have a leaking problem underneath the cabinet. But this is the shower, and the wand attaches to the sink. So we will be replacing all of that eventually. And then up above, it has a little bit more headroom. If you'll notice, we have a luggable loo that is for emergencies. If there's an emergency, like number two, we've got cat litter and trash bags. So, because we don't want to go number two in the toilet. That's just me. I don't like black tanks and thinking about all the slushing and sloshing of sewage in my camper. Eventually, if we keep this camper, Greg and I'll probably put a composting toilet in here, and I can talk to you more about that on a different video. But anyway, we just have our vacuum, cleaning supplies, little trash can for the bathroom in there. And then there's a nice medicine cabinet in here that locks. So kind of vintage from the 80s. So that is the bathroom. And I found that, of course, at a garage sale. Thought that shower curtain was kind of cool. So this is our camper, and we're pretty proud of it. It's not huge, it's not fancy, but it fits our needs, and we've had some fun camping in it so far, and hopefully we'll have a lot more. I can actually pull those to where there's no gap there, but I just smashed my toe pulling that side out. So I'm going to show you. This can be pulled all the way out so that that part lays flat. And that's a pretty big sleeping surface for one or two more people. So that's what it looks like when it's pulled out. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed this little camper tour of our 1985 Alpenlite camper. And I would just say my husband really likes this 80s camper because there's a metal frame. It's built really sturdy, even though it has some damage to the front, which you'll probably be able to see in the still pictures I took of the outside. It's a really sturdy camper, and my husband likes it. So I can't foresee us buying a new one anytime soon. Plus, we were able to pay cash for this. It's not financed. And I would just encourage you, if you think that you would want to go camping but don't want another big payment, just save up. You can find these campers pretty reasonably, and then you can just remodel. If you're willing to put in the elbow grease and the hard work, you can make them pretty comfortable. So, happy camping, and let the adventures begin.